What's up, guys? Welcome to Simple Chinese. My name is Mike Lin, and in this lesson, I'm gonna introduce you to the pinyin in Chinese, which is the most fundamental, system in Chinese. Basically, like if learning pinyin basically helps you out, pronounce the word. So when you say in Chinese, when you look at the Chinese, usually words are like whatever, this. Think words like this, right? Like these words, it's a word, but if you just look at it, you don't really know how to pronounce it. Like even though if you live in China, and you see a word you never see before, like this. Let's say you never see this word before, and then you're like, how do I say this word? So how do we say this word? Basically, each word in Chinese will have a pinyin associated with that character. So in this case, this character right here will be DA, that's how the pinyin works. So the pinyin itself is not really Chinese. Like we don't really write pinyin. Like if you get used to writing Chinese, you don't really write pinyin. It's just in the beginning stage really helps you pronounce those words. Okay, so that's what it is. And the pinyin is basically just a system to help you really pronounce whatever Chinese word that is. And in my opinion, I will learn both Chinese and English, even though English is my second language. I mean, I guess, because it's my second language, I think English is so much harder as far as, pronunciation goes compared to Chinese. And I think here's the reason why. With Chinese, the most you will ever have, if you look at here, we got like initials, and we got finals. And in China, there's only two parts, pinyin. There's initials, and then there's finals, and then that's it. With English, for example, whatever the word is say, whatever the word introduction, right? The word introduction. Just look how long this word is, and just look how many parts. To pronounce this, or how many parts you have to pronounce, right? We got like, intro or maybe intro, you can break that down to two, and introduction. So sometimes it can be a lot multiple, different, sections if you want to pronounce this word, English word, right? But in Chinese pinyin, each character, the most you will ever have is just the initials and the finals. So basically what that means, like you only combine two of them together, never three. Okay, only two. Okay, and then most of them sound just like one sound, right? Like one syllable. Like mic, only one syllable, compared to like introduction or like hospital. There's like three syllables, right? So each character in Chinese is only one syllable, like only one sound basically, if that makes sense. Okay. So that's what pinyin is. Okay. So this is just part of pinyin. Obviously, it's not all because there's quite a bit to cover. But it's really like after you only took like a couple lessons to actually cover all of them. And the ones you know all of them, you know all of them. It won't be like English, like have to know these, know that. Like there's only so much there it is in Chinese, because the only combination you can have is just between the initial and the final. Okay. So first, let's learn the finals, the simple finals. So there's a simple finals. Obviously, there's a finals that's much longer than simple finals. But we're gonna get into in the future, okay? But for right now, it's just simple finals. So what those means are, those are initials, okay? So you pick whatever initial you have. You have in here, maybe like this one, and then you combine initials, one initial with a final, and then put them together, make a sound, okay? So that's this word. Before that, let me just kind of walk through with each one, like pronounce that, and just so you know how to pronounce those words, initials or finals. Okay. So the first one is if you look at those, it's just like if you're an English language speaker, if you speak Spanish or maybe all languages, like those are just pretty much ABCD, the same thing. They're in the same thing. Maybe like this is probably the only word that's like different than A to Z, right? In the alphabet. So here, this one is in Chinese. It's kind of like AH. Okay, like AH. like ah. So that's the first one. Second one here is oh, okay. Then the third one here is it's E, right here is E. If you couldn't tell, it's so ah, o, okay. Then this one is E, okay. This one is oo. So I think all those are kind of long sound. I'm not sure in English exactly, but usually talk about the long U, long sound U. It's kind of like these. But make sure if you don't follow me, just keep on listening. Just go back and listen to again. How I say it, okay? So ah, o, e, u, and this one is ü. It's like a Y kind of. It's like a Y kind of. With the Y in the beginning. It's like ü, ü. Okay, so that's how you say this one right here, and that's it. That's all the simple finals there are. Okay, and then here comes the initials. So once I pronounce all the initials and we pronounce all the simple finals, we should be able to combine those, and then we can just use that to make whatever the character. This character. We can you're able to pronounce the Chinese characters. Okay, so this one here, I'm gonna just go through all of them slowly. This one is a bo, bo. It's like a bo kind of like a bo, like a bo. Okay, this one is a po, so bo, po, and then this one will be mo. This one will be fo. So all of them is kind of with the o, behind it, kind of like that. So bo, po, mo, fo, bo, po, mo, fo, bo, po, mo. So it's kind of very similar in English, right? Like if you're English speaker, like exactly, you'll be able to pick up that like no problem. Okay. This one, the, t, n, l. So in this one, it's basically with the e rather than the o, right? So just the initials. So the, t, n, l. The difference between n and the l, like you should be able to tell. N is kind of used to nose, like n. Then with this one L, like a l, just l, just like use your tongue like l. Then and like this one will be n, so n, l. Obviously I'm exaggerating. You don't have to say like that. It's like n, l, like that will be fine. And then g, k, h. So it's the same, right? Like g, k, h. That's all. It's also kind of like you put an e, like a behind it. So g, k, h. Okay. So let's review this part first. Bo, po, mo, fo. Right. D, t, n, l, g, k, h. And that's this part. And then on these parts, maybe it's for these three, will be G. So it's like a J and then with an I kind of, like J I kind of thing. So G, Qi, and this one is very different acts. Okay, in English maybe like X whatever, but in Chinese it will be Xi. Xi. It's kind of like a CI kind of sound. I don't really know how you can how English words are representing the Chinese sound, but Xi, it's like kind of like a CC kind of C. It's like Spanish C, right? But you don't go down. Just like a C, Ji, Qi, Xi. Okay. Then this one will be Z. It's like a buzz. Z. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's exactly like in the buzz. Like buzz. Like Z. But you just short just one. So Z. And then these two is actually the same idea. So if you don't say buzz, and butts with a ts, so z, ts. This one will be s. Does it kind of make sense? Kind of. So if you say like like the word like buds, buds in the bell, whatever, buds, right? Buds, z, right? Z. And then if you put z, become c, be ts, buds. You don't really say that, but it's kind of the same idea with the buds. Z, very short z. This one will be ts, ts. So it's not like a C, it's like a S. It's not like a S, it's like a ts, ts. Okay? Ts, ts. And this one will be S. So like again, like just quick, like business, biz. s, bis, z, kind of like that. Okay. And then these four, okay, they're very unique too, but they're also easy to pronounce. Like they're very, different, so you should be able to identify easily. So this one will be, this one is a z. With that, all you have to do is just kind of roll your tongue a little bit like that. So, like, kind of roll your tongue. So like, roll your tongue. So your tongue will be like that, right? So we pronounce will be zh. So same like z, but like you put your tongue behind. So it'll be zh. This one will be ch. This one will be sh. Then this one just r, like same thing, ri. Also you roll your tongue here. Zh. Okay, so zh, ch, sh, r. Okay, so that's it. And make sure like these whenever with h and r, you roll your tongue. So zh, ch, sh, r. Okay, and that's it. Like that's literally like it might be kind of difficult, but it's actually pretty simple, right? Like that's literally all there is. You say those just like A B C D. Like it's pretty easy. Okay, so let's review. Start from the beginning here. Okay, the simple finals we got a, o, i, u, ü. I really hope the audio in this video is good. I mean that's what I'm really aiming for, which it should be. So you can clearly hear what I'm pronouncing here. So a, o, i, u, ü. Okay, so I think these are pretty easy because there's only 6 of those. Okay, and then these are also pretty easy. So let me just kind of write this down. Like I don't know if this is exactly like the professionally how Chinese teachers, professors will go. But I mean, it's kind of obvious that in my mind, whatever easiest to remember, is like these 4 kind of with this kind of have like this kind of o kind of sound like o. So it'd be bo, po, mo, fo, right? Bo, po, mo, fo, bo, po, mo, fo, bo, po, mo, fo, like pretty easy. And then these ones are with a d here, like with e here. Okay. So the, t, n, l. G, k, h. Okay, and then these one will be with like kind of e, kind of like an I. So ji, chi, xi. This one is like a ci kind of sound. Like you say cici or like a Spanish, c, right? Whatever, kind of like xi. It's not like a ts. It's not like a x. This one is more similar to that. If you want to say x, this one like that rather than x. In Chinese, x, this one will just be xi. Okay, remember that, xi, and then this one's like a z, like a buzz, z, c, s, like a buzz, z, z, s. So z, c, s, also kind of with the I, I don't know, kind of like that, if that kind of makes sense. At least that's how I interpret it. Okay, and then with these, what you do is to roll your tongue, like you put your tongue out, right, in the middle or like wherever, kind of if you can talk like this, you're good to go. If you can talk like this, you pronounce like that. Okay, so zh, ch, sh, r. Okay, zh, ch, sh, r. Okay, so let me erase those. Okay, so just so you know, like what are the ways might be able to help you memorize those. So I mean. This if you have trouble with those, you should always come back here and just keep on practicing that. But these are pretty easy. Okay, like whenever you have trouble, maybe you go a long way and then you just go, oh, I forgot how those are. You can just always come back. Those are pretty simple. Like those are always right there. Okay, so the reason why I say pinyin is pretty easy. Like at least in my mind, it's easier than English as far as pronunciation goes. I mean, obviously. There's many different aspects of language, but in my mind, I think Chinese is easier to pronounce compared to English. As far as just like the length goes, because in English you can have a word, a compound word that can be very very long, like helplessness, godlessness, or like conscientiousness, like it's super long, right? But in Chinese, most characters are like pretty much every single character are very very short. So whenever you say one character, you should always once you master pinyin, okay, because this is a strong foundation. You have to spend a lot of time, or you have to spend enough time to be very very comfortable with this. Okay, this is like the most fundamental thing, the break. If you want to build a house, okay, make sure the ground is safe. Make sure you have a very strong foundation. This is the foundation, okay? Part of foundation. There's more in the future, but like these are half. Like the initials. This is all the initials there is in Chinese, okay? And then all you have to just pick one initial and then pick another final. There's simple final. There's more final. There's multiple final. I think basically there's like more than one character letters, but that's all the initials there is, and all you do is just you pick one, and then you pick this one here, and then you mix with this one, put them together, and then there's a sound. So if you put ba, bo, and the ah together, you do that plus ah. So that's a bo, that's ah, bo ah, it'll be ba. Okay, so it'll be ba. Okay, and then that is a pinyin for a lot of Chinese characters. Actually depends on the tone, which we'll get into in the future. But for example, one example we can use is the father, be ba. Okay, it'll be a fourth sound ba. But that's how it goes. It's like if you never see this character right here, like how do you never see this word? How do you say this word? Okay, the pinyin of this word is b, bo and ah. So we put together bo ah ba, and then you got whatever tone you have in the future. There's only 4 tones. So ba, and the fourth one ba. So there you go. That's how you say this word. Okay, let's give another example here. The mother in Chinese. Okay, we'll get that. I've never seen this character before. Chinese word before. How do I say this word? Okay, then I ask a person from China. Say, to pronounce this character, you put 2 pinyin together. The initial will be M, which is mo, and then you add that with also a here, okay. So ma, so mo. So in this case, b and the ba, bo here become mo. So mo ma, and then it's the first sound here. So ma. So that's how it goes. That's that's why we use pinyin, is to really explain pronounce like Chinese character. Okay, but this is all so in the combination here, like I said, you can already expect all the combinations there are between initials and the finals. All there is just use this word whatever this in the initial and plus the final, and then you will make a different sound. Okay, which we'll get into in the next video. Next video, I will show you all the combinations of the initials and the simple finals. And then the next video, the video after next one, I will show you all the not the simple finals anymore. The whatever the compound final or multiple finals, whatever it's called. So in that case, that will be longer, but it's still like one phrase like that, still like one part, and then you still add the one part. You still add one initial and the one final, and that's it. There won't be like the beginning part, middle part, and then like middle part, and then like the last part. Compared to English pronunciation, like a lot of words are so long, like like competitive. I was like, shit, like competitive, and then repetitive. Like it's so many more parts, which is sometimes kind of tongue twister. It's kind of hard to say. But in Chinese, I don't think that's the case, and that shouldn't be a problem. The faster you recognize those words, and the faster you can pick up the pinyin, the faster you pronounce those words, which really kind of helps you speak Chinese fluently. Like that's the key. Same thing with English. Same thing with like in all languages. It's if you wanna be float, if you wanna float, if you wanna be just kind of smooth, right? You have to kind of really internalize the pronunciations and for each character and all the phrase. Be comfortable saying all of those. That's how you do that. And the pinyin is the foundation of those. So those are super important. Make sure spend enough time memorize how to say each, initials and the finals, on their own. So if I, just pick one, G, we're able to say G, or G, C, Z, right? Xi, Qi, right? Fo, Mo, Po, Po, right? L, N, H, K, G, Zhi, Zhi, Shi, right? We're able to do that, no problem. If you can do that, then that's great. Then we'll probably in the next lesson I will teach you how all the combinations of simple finals and initials, put them together, and then you can say, oh, those words. And then once you master those words, combinations, and then I will teach you the multiple and the combination finals. And then you also put those initials with those finals. And then once you can send those correctly, then we'll move in tonality. And after that, you're done. That's all you have to learn about pronouncing Chinese. Okay? You can literally, if you become so good at that, you can literally look at other pinyins and then say that and then just say a sentence. I give you just a long phrase of pinyin, you can just say that. And then once you can actually master it, you can literally talk like a regular Chinese person, which is very dope. And it's super simple. That's all there is. There's not that much things to learn compared to English. At least that's what I think. Okay? And I just wanna give you idea. The book I'm using is this one. Okay, I'm sure a lot of people, if you want to watch in the future, maybe already in the course, or maybe you already have this kind of book on your own. But if you don't, this is what I'm getting all my materials from. Obviously, I know everything already, right? Obviously, I know all of those things here. But I kind of follow this course and the lessons in the future. So if you wanna learn, if you wanna follow, my course and then try to learn by yourself, you can always buy this book. And in this book, I got a link down below. You can always go to Amazon, order those. This book is in my mind the most popular, the most fundamental book to have, and it's the best for the beginners. My buddy, he's in college. We're both in college right now. He's actually using this book as his textbook for his class. So if you want to pick up this book, Integrated Chinese Level 1 Part 1, make sure to get that, and you can follow my course. But you don't have to. In the future, all the lessons, everything I cover is from the book, and I will cover everything that is from the book. I think it's important, the necessary part, to learn Chinese. So if you're interested, pick up this book, and also the combination of other things with the book, whatever the word, the practice, the workbook, or the character book, whatever you pick up. So make sure you do that. It's definitely gonna help you a lot. But that's pretty much all. See you in the next video, and we're gonna talk about all the combinations of these. Bye bye.